DJE Media is one of several prominent YouTube auditors that I just haven't got round to. It's my intention to dissect his work in greater depth in the new year. For today I will just take a brief look at just one of his visits. He was late to the scene, and that's why I don't know a lot about him, and I haven't really looked at him in any great depth. His style of auditing seems to be a blend of different approaches. Apparently he flies a drone sometimes, and there are similarities to DJ audits. I should add that I don't believe the name DJE is a copycat of DJ audits. I think he was using the name before he got into auditing. It's just a happy coincidence from his point of view. Some of the videos I've been looking at today show the influence of UK Meet the Tyrants in that he likes to confront and badger people with a camera to see if he'll get a reaction, but he's much more polite and civil. Here I look at one of his methods, which involves turning up at commercial premises, typically a prestige car showroom, and walking around filming without prior permission. This is a visit he makes to Mercedes showroom in Oxford. This is actually from his other channel called DJE PINAC. I'm a bit confused about why he has two different channels when the content seems very similar, but for the purposes of this video I'll just refer to him as DJE Media. As you can see, he's just walked in while filming. He hasn't asked if it's okay to film. I've noticed that in some of his videos, it's not immediately obvious from the equipment he's presumed to be carrying that he is filming, but eventually people figure out that he is. I'm not sure what was the case here, but in any event, they notice he's filming, and I'm now going to jump to a conversation he has with two staff members.
Has he gone? Oh no, Royce, that's alright. It doesn't matter, I can just walk around and look at the cars.
Behind that blurring, the faces of two customers can clearly be seen, as well as the staff members, and both the staff and the customers' faces look distinctly uncomfortable. Sounds like DJE Media might have been asking to speak to the manager for some reason.
Video? Just doing a video of the showroom, yeah.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. Normally there's people around and they'll just come and say, oh hi, what are you doing, can we help you? So that's good for the video, you know, that's all.
Who's organised that?
Me.
But has Entick asked you to do that?
I just walk in and film usually. And if salesmen want to approach, they do. If they don't, they don't, but...
I don't think we'll be able to do that then, if Grant's not here. It would him.
Oh, right. I can, as I say, I've walked around already showing the cars. I just, before I go, it's good to have somebody sort of talk, you know, but if they're not available, then it doesn't matter.
Be able to do that. Sorry.
That's right, no worries.
Okay.
If they're not here, they're not here. It's one of them, isn't it? No worries, thank you.
Is he trespassing? Trespass is an unlawful interference in land. On the one hand, customers and clients and prospective customers and clients, as well as staff, suppliers, the Royal Mail, emergency services and so on, do have an implied permission to enter. Whether someone has an implied permission to enter in a specific case depends on whether the occupier would reasonably expect entry to the premises by that person, and the scope of that implied permission will depend on the exact circumstances. Not all reasonable entry will be wanted by the occupier. For instance, if the police, to give an extreme example, if the police want to come and question or arrest the occupier, the police themselves would have an implied license to enter in those circumstances, quite apart from any police powers that may exist. What this means is that we have to introduce both an objective and subjective element to the concept of reasonable expectation. We have to recognise that it's not just about what the occupier wants. The subjective aspect of the concept it would reflect what the setup is on the ground and what the exact circumstances are, in a way that reflects the fact that the occupier would expect certain classes of the public to seek entry, but not all of the public in general. But you could also argue, and I would argue, that implied permissions exist for pragmatic reasons, not because of what an occupier would want, but because of the way society works today. This is an objective justification for implying the permission to enter. For instance, an official who wants to inspect the occupier's premises or seeks his voluntary cooperation in an inspection or inquiry, or as I've just mentioned, the example of a police officer who has to arrest the occupier, such entry is not a trespass but is protected by the implied licence, subject always to revocation. If the implied permission is revoked, typically that means the visitor must leave and is trespassing if he does not do so, unless of course he has some other legal powers or justification that overrides the revocation, or that would have the effect of deeming the implied permission non-revocable in the particular circumstances. Again, that probably applies to the police. Now we've covered that ground, what we can say here is that the permission for customers and clients is that they enter for the purpose of browsing the cars or conducting whatever business they have with the showroom. I think we could define a customer quite broadly. A customer does not necessarily have to be a patron, if you see the distinction. I say that as a purely practical point because it would be hard to prove that somebody does not have a genuine reason to go on a site that is open to the public. A customer could potentially include somebody who just likes cars and wants to browse. Of course, if it becomes apparent to the occupier that an individual is unlikely to be a genuine prospective customer in the sense of looking to buy or lease a vehicle, the occupier can ask that individual to leave, in which case the individual must leave. DJE Media is not a customer in any sense of a word. We know this because he has published pretty conclusive evidence that he is not a customer by putting up all his videos on YouTube. We know who he is in broad terms. We know why he's there without even having to watch any specific video. We know that his intention is simply to film to see how people react to filming in the hope that they give him entertaining content. That is not a purpose that falls within the reasonable expectation of a car showroom. Shops, car showrooms, restaurants, museums, libraries, market halls, electrical outlets, department stores, these places don't expect an individual, whether or not a potential actual paying customer, to come onto their premises for the purpose of seeing how people react to being filmed. There is a further nuance to this. Potentially, if he was just there to film because he has a genuine interest in prestige marques, then I think the situation would be a bit different, because the occupier of a prestige car showroom just might reasonably expect someone to do that. But that implied permission would be subject to certain implied terms, such as behaving with the appropriate discretion and decorum. The occupier would not expect somebody to come on the premises just to goad them and wind them up with a camera. They would not expect that any more than a restaurant would expect a prospective patron to do that. Obviously, we have to watch the incident unfold and see how it develops. It may turn out that they're happy for him to be there, but for now, my tentative conclusion is that he is trespassing. Trespass is a civil wrong per se, meaning that it doesn't matter whether any harm or damage is done, it's trespass. Trespass also does not require intent. Even if DJE Media does not realise he is trespassing and does not intend to trespass, he's still trespassing. The next point about the law that we need to discuss is data protection. DJE Media has a monetised YouTube account. Correction, he has two monetised YouTube accounts. He's not just DJE Media, he's also DJE PINAC, as I've mentioned. That means he is subject to data protection. He's not conducting journalism or artistic photography in this video. What he's doing is pestering and annoying people. He's filmed these ladies' faces and he hasn't blurred them out of his video, so he's processing personal data as defined in Article 4 of the UK GDPR, because they're at work and so their images make them identifiable, and he doesn't have their consent, so has to justify both the filming and uploading of images of their faces to a social media platform with reference to a legitimate interest as defined in Article 6.1f of the UK GDPR, and he has to provide them with certain information about himself under Article 13.1 of the UK GDPR, and under Article 13.2 he has to tell them about their rights as data subjects. He hasn't done any of these things. It also probably won't come as any surprise, but I'll tell you anyway, that he's not registered as a data controller, as required of him under Regulation 2 of the Data Protection Charges and Information Regulations 2018. If you think I'm being a fusspot or harsh on him, just bear in mind, just let me remind you, that this man is being paid to do what he does. He's not just a hobbyist, he's treated as a business, and he's doing this as a career, and he isn't just filming people in crowded anonymous locations or including people incidentally in his footage. It's not as if he's going there to film the cars because he has an interest in cars and he just happens to include in it some faces of staff incidentally or something like that. This man is purposefully going there to record the faces of people who work at that location without disclosing to them who he is, what he's doing and why he's doing it, and he's been paid for this. It is incumbent on him to know how the law applies to his activities. He has to justify why the privacy of these ladies should be infringed. It's not for these ladies to justify themselves. They're at their place of work, carrying out their duties. None of this is to say that he can never film in these circumstances, or that he even has to obtain their consent. He doesn't have to. This is a relatively free country. Nobody is suggesting that a strange man with a camera must have consent. He does not have to have consent. But if he wants to go down that route of filming without consent, then he must have a legitimate interest that is so compelling that it should override privacy, and that does not pertain here, because there is no need for him to have filmed these ladies and broadcast their faces. It's just ridiculous. He risks the video being taken down and possible action against him by YouTube. He risks a civil claim by the company and or those ladies, and he risks a regulatory fine by the ICO for failure to register, and if they consider his data breaches to be serious and systemised, he and other auditors risk further regulatory fines or other enforcement action.
Electric cars? Smart. I like the way they say we're not going to be able to do that, but it's like we're already filming, so we may as well just finish off the video, you know.
One justification that auditors like him sometimes make for what they do is that they are providing an additional marketing channel for the company or business that they're filming. But the problem there is that most really established and organised businesses will have a professionalised marketing capacity, and they won't want just any old John, Bill or Jennifer to be filming them, because they want to control how they're presented and make sure that it puts them in the light that they want. You could argue that's not the auditor's fault or his problem, and I would agree, and I also think there is room for critics and reviewers of products and services to present businesses in a truer light than their marketing departments would like. All that's well and good, and it may be that some of DJE Media's viewers also want to see these cars, but at the end of the day it's still private property, and your intentions, whether good or bad, are irrelevant to trespass.
Oh, someone's not happy. Oh, no,
What are you doing?
I'm just filming.
May I ask?
Just filming.
Huh?
Just filming.
What are you filming for?
Just for a video.
For anything specific, or?
I normally just walk in, show the showroom, show the cars, the prices, the specs.
But what's it for?
Just to make a video.
It must be for something.
What do you mean by for?
Well, you must be doing it for something. You wouldn't just do it for the fun.
To be paid.
Be paid?
Yeah.
By who? Have we asked you to come in and do this, or?
No, by Google. Google pay me.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
What it is, I make videos on all different sorts of things. One topic I do is car dealers.
Okay.
Just walk in, show around the nice cars you've got. Sometimes we have interactions.
Okay.
And I walk out, and if it was daylight, I'd do a drone shot. It's dark, I can't do that today.
He's not really telling us the full truth so far, is he? He admits he's being paid and by whom, but he doesn't give the information required of him under Article 13 in complete form. The man from the showroom is being perfectly reasonable, and if DJE Media was being reasonable back, then he would tell the truth, albeit I accept that it would have to be a varnished version of the truth. He could say something like, I have a YouTube channel called DJE PINAC, and what I do is record people's reactions to being filmed because it's entertaining, but I'm not trying to cause anyone distress, and as soon as someone objects I will stop. In the process I also show some interesting subject matter, in this case prestige cars. I'm a data controller and can provide you with my registration details. I'll email it to you later if you need it, and one of the reasons I wanted to speak to a manager was so that I could pass on that information easily in case it's needed. I do this for a living. I'm trying to be professional. Of course, he won't say anything approaching all that, because that would mean professionalism and actual accountability for his actions. We can't have that from an auditor.
Okay. It's just some of my colleagues don't like being filmed. So
Okay, so I won't approach them.
so yes, so don't approach anybody that doesn't wish to be filmed.
How would I know?
Huh?
How would I know?
Well, in theory, they should tell you.
What I'm saying is, if I go over to that corner where there's hoovering going on, let's say,
Yeah.
and that particular person doesn't want to be on camera,
Yeah.
how would I know that?
What the manager should really do is tell him to leave, but you've got to appreciate that DJE Media is never going to be transparent, so this manager who has to deal with him won't know what we know. If he did, he'd order him out toot sweet. What we've just heard the manager tell him is not to film anybody who does not want to be filmed, which again is very reasonable. The problem there is that what we have just seen is the manager give DJE Media an implicit permission to continue filming, albeit under the restriction of only filming with consent. That means, as matters stand, DJE Media has permission to be where he is.
Well,
That makes sense.
I've had people coming in and saying to me that you're filming them, and essentially that needs to stop, because if they don't want to be filmed, then don't film them.
Can you point them out so I don't catch them on the camera?
Well, I mean,
I'm almost finished, to be fair, but...
No, that's fine. I'm going to go let the general manager know anyway that you're in here filming. It'll be his decision whether he allows you.
Oh, he's here. I thought he wasn't here.
Well, I think he's here.
Oh, I just spoke to your colleague, the lady.
Well, I'll have a wander down and I'll see. But he should be here.
Ah, okay,
Don't
yeah,
be
great. Yeah, no worries.
What the manager really means, I think, and the way he should have put it, is that DJE Media should not film any individual without that individual's consent. Simple as that. If that is the condition that the occupier wishes to impose on DJE Media, they can do so, and he should accept it, not quibble about it and try to be a smart aleck. Let's skip forward to the next interaction.
Yeah, the general manager has gone. He's not in his office.
I thought so.
But yeah, if I can just ask you, film the cars, but don't film the people.
Okay, so no one's going to
Alright.
approach, really.
So, sorry.
No one wants to approach and sort of sell a car.
So,
No.
well, no, not unless they want to. But the feedback I'm getting is that people don't want to be filmed. Film
wow,
the cars
okay.
by all means, but
Yeah.
just not the people.
That's very reasonable. The showroom doesn't even have to agree to him filming.
Can I ask why they don't want to be filmed?
It's their decision.
Not that I go up to them with the camera, but
No.
like,
It's their decision, isn't it?
of course.
Whether they do or whether they don't.
Yeah. Are you a manager of some kind? Or?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Sales manager.
No.
Oh. What you doing there
Service.
then? Service manager. Big service room. Massive.
It is, yeah. It's a big
Compared
workshop.
to other ones, it's big, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dartford's quite big.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But apart from that, this is probably the biggest I've been to.
Yeah, no, it is a big workshop.
Yeah. Okay, cool. No worries.
right.
I'll be gone soon anyway.
Yeah, no problem.
Alright.
But like I say, film the cars, no problem. Just not the people.
Great. Okay, no worries, mate. Cheers.
That's fair enough. It means he has permission to be there on the condition that he does not film people. That is an oral contract between DJE Media and the occupier. I'll skip forward again.
Filming. For me. I've been told not to film the staff, so
Okay, but you're filming me.
you just call me over. So
Well,
I try not to come over, like, but
you know what I mean?
yeah, I'll wait over here for you, mate.
There is such a thing as turning the camera away from the subject. If you film people for a living, it would help to know this really basic stuff. Then he goes back to filming them again.
Oh, he's going. No, doesn't want to talk. Oh no, he's just sorting the customer out.
He's filming another customer now, again no attempt to blur out the face. Unfortunately, some fault must attach to the company here, the showroom. They should have asked him to leave at the outset. I hope that those of you who are free and easy about this sort of thing can perhaps now begin to appreciate why businesses will often be very strict about filming in and around premises, especially when there are customers and staff present. These people won't know that they're going to be on YouTube, and we have no idea whether they will care or not, but real problems can arise as a result. It means that someone's workplace is being broadcast for neighbours and other people who know them, for all the world to see, and they may not want that information to be known about them.
Did you still want to talk, mate, or can I crack on? No.
I'm just curious as to what you're doing.
Oh yeah, just doing a video on the dealership.
Yeah, no, that's
But
fine.
one of the managers said just don't film staff that don't want to be filmed.
Yeah,
So I'm trying my best not to approach people.
no, that's all right. I'm just curious.
Yeah. Okay, cool, man.
So don't film people without their consent. Anyway, I'll skip ahead again.
Yeah, let's get away from that music, shall we? Try and talk as much as possible over it.
This would be an interesting place to go with a camera and take some photographs of the cars, but I'd ask for permission first. It's private business premises, so I wouldn't be walking around taking snaps without checking in with somebody.
Have you guys always got the Christmas music on, or is that just
festive.
yeah, I know that, but is it on all day, like, is it?
Yeah.
He's still filming people. Does he understand English? I mean, if he wanted to ignore the instruction, he could have at least made it entertaining by pretending to be foreign or something like that.
Does it get annoying? It must get annoying.
You're getting annoying.
If you're in here all day.
I'm in and out sort of thing. I don't sit here all down hours. It's just sort of in the afternoon if we got short on reception, I come and help out.
Oh, okay. What do you do then? Service and stuff?
Sales.
Sales?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm customer experience expert.
Customer experience?
Yeah.
What's that?
So essentially, it's like a new style of selling. Like there's not the pressure that salespeople used to put on you.
Right.
Here to just help you find the correct car that you want, give you the right information.
Okay.
Make an informed decision.
So you'd approach and then essentially leave them alone for a bit and then come back?
Well, so sort of ask what their needs are and sort of go from
Yeah, okay.
just sort of assist them in finding the right car.
Cool, man. Cheers.
To be fair, that was an interesting exchange, but what mostly interests me is the law. What the law says about this is that DJE Media is now unequivocally trespassing because he has not observed the condition of him remaining there, which is that he should not film people without their consent. It may well be that this man knew he was being filmed, and you could take that to be an implied consent to be filmed if you like, but DJE Media didn't ask him first, so I'm not sure he did give consent or that he's fully informed about what he's been subject to. And anyway, DJE Media also caught other people in the shot. That's before we get into all the points about data protection I was talking about earlier, which are separate.
Well,
another general observation I would make about what DJE Media is doing is that there seems to be no clear structure or purpose to it. If he was really there to film cars and talk to staff about relevant matters, I wouldn't expect to be watching something like this. I really don't get the impression he is genuinely interested in the showroom and its contents. It just comes across as somebody hanging around and filming to try and provoke a reaction from somebody and deliberately delaying his departure in the hope that someone will challenge him. He's been told not to film people without at least their consent, and he's ignoring that.
When you finish, can I get you to sign in that you've been here?
yeah?
Yeah, is that alright?
Yeah. What, do you want a name, do you, or
Yeah, just
security sheet? What's that? Oh,
just find.
it's a long way to go to find a signing sheet, isn't it?
Yes, I can get you to fill one of those in, thank you.
A visitor pass, but I've already passed.
Yeah.
I'm already come and gone.
I should have got you when you came in, but I didn't really know what you were doing.
Bear in mind, in the background, he's got customers in the shot again, albeit they are in an anonymous public place and it's at a fair distance, so I can't say he's identifying them. I think some criticism here again has to attach to the showroom. If they didn't want him filming people, they should have asked him to leave, or monitored him as he went round and made sure he stuck to the area with the cars. Instead, there seems to have been no real communication between and amongst the staff, and he's just been left unsupervised to his own devices.
I see.
Clip with a pen. So anyway.
No. No. Videos. Do YouTube videos on car dealers. Yeah, so
So is it like that TikTok?
yeah. TikTok and YouTube, yeah.
And you just put the cars on and say these are where.
What we do, we walk around and we show people obviously the facilities, but we also judge the reaction to the filming.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes they like kick off and say, "Oh, you can't film." Sometimes
No,
they.
you see what we're interested, you know. I says I'll ask him, I ask Ed, I ask everything.
So like some dealers, they're really welcoming and they'll be like, "Oh hi, yeah, come in," and they offer you a coffee and they show you around the cars.
So that means when you put it on YouTube with that TikTok,
Yeah.
but when you put them on there then and people like comment where the
Yeah.
cars are, so you get them business really, don't you?
Well, when the video goes well, naturally it's good for the business.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I don't come in and make it negative. I just talk to people and show what's here.
Yeah.
But sometimes we have managers come out and they're like, "You need to leave now,"
Yeah.
and it gets quite hostile.
Yeah, it actually.
So then the comments on those videos are not good.
No. I know that they had a Batman car in here.
Oh, what? Sorry.
A Batman car. Well, you know that like dull black
Right.
colour thing.
Matte black or yeah.
Like a Batman car, you know that sort of type.
Right.
I didn't like it, but they had a beautiful.
That's a nice colour.
What they had out there, and that was mine, but it's not.
Okay.
She obviously didn't know why he's there, suggesting that there hasn't been communication amongst the staff to explain that there's a visitor who's filming and the purpose for him filming. I assume nobody has explained to the staff that they can refuse consent to be filmed and ask not to be filmed. But fair play to this lady, she seems not to care. She seems happy to be filmed and put on YouTube, and she thinks there's marketing potential in it because it does raise awareness that the showroom exists. I'm a bit sceptical personally, because I think people who want to buy expensive cars like that will not be persuaded by a YouTube video of this sort, or maybe any YouTube video. And remember what I said earlier about the way professional marketing works. The company behind that showroom will want to control marketing channels and avenues, otherwise they risk having the showroom presented in an unprofessional light. Especially important in front of customers, the type of customers who would afford cars like that. That's why really as soon as it became clear he was filming staff and customers, he should have been asked to leave. If you think I'm making too much of this, just stop and consider. If you were at work and some strange man comes round filming everybody, wouldn't you want to know who he is, where he's from, what he's doing? At least in general terms, you'd want some information. Wouldn't you appreciate the opportunity to refuse to be filmed, and wouldn't you expect that both the cameraman and your own employer would respect your privacy? Believe it or not, that's what data protection law actually says. That's exactly one type of situation that we have these laws for, this situation. This lady being filmed now, she may not care. She may even find it amusing and like the fact she's on YouTube. But DJE Media can't make that assumption for everybody. I'll skip forward.
Hi mate, alright? You work here, yeah?
No.
Yeah, you do?
No, I work for Monty. I work.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Ah.
Pick up some parts from Africa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just doing a little video here for social media, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. They're not too keen on the filming here, but
Really?
that's why we do it, to see.
See what happens.
Yeah, basically.
Usually have some nice cars on the bottom there, isn't
Yeah, the cars are quite nice, to be fair. Yeah.
Some of these people come across as congenial about being filmed, but does that mean they're giving consent? I don't believe it does, because when you point a camera at somebody and you tell them they are being filmed for social media, that person may be tempted to put on an amicable front in the hope they'll be forgotten, whereas if they voice an objection, that causes a bit of a scene and brings them to the attention of the auditor and his viewers later on. This man has not objected, which makes him instantly forgettable, but that may be an intuitive defensive response, and he may actually be quite unhappy at being filmed. We just don't know. The point is that consent requires transparency from the cameraman. To be fair to DJE Media, I do always look for points on which I can defend the auditor, and DJE Media does have some good points in the way he goes about things. He comes across as fairly polite and civil for one thing, and to be fair to him, he is being a bit more transparent than most, but he's still not being truthful, and he hasn't gone about it professionally. He has not imparted the essential information required under Article 13.1a of the UK GDPR, namely his identity. At the very least, I would expect him to give the name of his channel, with a promise that if there were any problems, anybody captured in the film can contact him and ask him to make edits and so on. These people have no means of knowing where or when they will be shown on social media.
They haven't kicked me out,
Have they not?
but it hasn't been massively positive.
Oh.
It's been a bit like, we're going to put up with you doing it kind of thing. One of them.
You haven't filmed the customer, have you?
Is he a customer?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Turns out the man he's filming is a customer. I think that's bad because you've got to be careful. A camera in this situation could be seen as a means of bullying. If you stop and think about it, if somebody points a camera at you and says it's going on social media, you may well register that if you object and kick up a fuss, that will draw more attention to the video. It's just bullying, really. The showroom have done badly here, and what I expect now and hope is that they will ask him to leave.
I did tell him I'm filming. Don't worry, you're stressing too much, you are.
She's not stressing too much. This showroom is their business, it's their livelihood, it's her job. She's entitled to be stressed in this situation, but I have to say, in my opinion, the showroom have handled this badly. What they should have done at the start, as soon as they realised he was filming, is ask him for the information required under Article 13, and if he refused, they should have asked him to leave. If he agreed to give them some information, they could have, if they wanted, come to some sort of arrangement with him whereby he was supervised while filming cars, and maybe one of the managers or staff could have given him an interview in the sense of answering questions, and he could then have been escorted off the site. As part of that process, all staff on site would have been informed that somebody was in the showroom filming, and if they or any customer did not want to be filmed, they should stay away from the filming area or alert the responsible person. That's the way to handle this if you want to cooperate rather than remove the person. They haven't been professional about it at all. DJE Media has not been professional either. I'm sure no great harm has been done, but some harm could have been done. Some of those customers will have wondered why some strange bloke was walking around filming and they may not come back, and so that's some of the showroom's goodwill lost. And in that line of business, the loss of goodwill from just one single aggrieved customer could be of very significant value. It's a case in point of how relevant and important privacy and data protection considerations are, and why businesses need systems, procedures and protocols in place to deal with these awkward situations. None of that takes away the blame that should attach to DJE Media for his behaviour. As I say, he does have good points, he is polite and civil, but even a wrongdoer can be polite and civil. It doesn't change that what he's doing is fundamentally wrong.
He's got a Mercedes jacket on. I thought it's stuff. So where'd he work? Different company but AMG? Never.
What DJE Media needs to do here is just turn the camera away or stop filming altogether. No purpose is served by this.
I'm going in a minute anyway, I'm done.
Thank God.
All finished.
But you had to have one last look at the meeting area where the customers sit. Is he lost? Doesn't he know the way out?
Are you updated her, yeah?
I'm going to tell him.
You could have asked me, man. I'd have told you.
I just don't think if our general manager was here, he would be able to do this, because we're really strict on data at GDPR and everything.
So,
Sorry, I don't want to pick on this lady as she's one of the people being victimised here, but if you're really strict about data protection as you claim, why have you allowed a strange man to walk around your showroom filming staff and customers for a YouTube channel? Bear in mind we only see on the DJE Media channel an edited version of what he filmed. There will be more of it that he hasn't shown us, and none of these people have been blurred out. It is a big fail, this, on the part of the showroom, and if anything positive comes out of it, it will be that they need to look at their procedures. The really sad thing is that incidents like this ruin it for real photographers. I'm an amateur photographer. This is why I hate this auditing so much, because if I now get the idea in my head to go there and ask permission to photograph their cars, you know what the answer is going to be to me and any other photographer. It will be no, and it will be because of this incident. And if you imagine, there must have been hundreds of these auditors over the years. It's not a small thing. It adds up to thousands of incidents just like this where innocent people have been victimised by somebody who claims he's just exercising his right to film, when in reality he's using a camera to abuse people. It's not good for public photography rights. This activity harms public photography. It erodes public goodwill towards photographers, and these people and all their fans and viewers just do not care. Neither vloggers or photographers for the most part think in detail about data protection or trespass or any other aspect of the law, but they do have common sense and an intuitive understanding of what they can and cannot do, built on common social mores and experience, which is what underpins most of the law anyway. It's really about having consideration for others, and somebody who acts in good faith need not think too much about the law anyway. One of the reasons auditors are so obsessed with the law, to the point that they even make it up sometimes, is that somebody who knows he's doing wrong needs to know the law. As it happens, auditors don't for the most part, but they think they do, and the reason they come out with all these fancy convoluted defences and justifications for their actions is that they need them. A vlogger with good faith intentions doesn't need to justify himself. If he visits a shop and films inside and is then asked to leave, he will normally stop filming at that point and leave. That's because his motive is different to that of the auditor. It may be that, like the auditor, he has a monetised YouTube channel and he's trying to make money from content. But his aim is to impart information, not cause confrontation. That's why he would stop, whereas for the auditor, any objection to his presence from the occupier is the beginning of the footage, not the end. It is what the auditor is there for, it's what he's come for, because it's what his audience really want. The gap between, on the one side, photography and vlogging, and on the other side, auditing, can be likened to a narrow but deep chasm. The two sides resemble each other often, but there is a fundamental difference between them. The auditor is not there to impart information. He is there, I repeat, to provoke a reaction and generate confrontation for the entertainment and gratification of his audience. DJE Media shows us why auditing is wrong and ought to stop. What may seem to many like a harmless and entertaining activity is in fact socially corrosive and potentially could lead to harm.
And I don't think he would have let you do all this.
Of course the general manager would not have left him to it, but surely that raises the question of why you and your colleagues in the showroom have left him to it. He either should have been told to leave or you should have supervised him. Given that he was already on site, maybe the balance had to be in favour of friendliness and giving him an organised tour, because he sort of presented you with a fait accompli. As he can't put out a negative video about the showroom that the showroom may not be able to control and may have difficulty keeping off the internet, as long as you stay reasonably friendly with him. I do appreciate that point of view.
So I do videos on dealers, right? And whenever I go to Mercedes, they tend to be quite negative. They tend to be like, you can't do it, you need to leave, right?
We're really strict on that.
Why is that? Well, you're not going to know why, but like, Mercedes tend to be quite strict. Audi is 50-50. I had a brilliant Audi today in traction over in Oxford.
Right.
Great. Receptionist showed me around all the cars.
Really?
But then I've had another Audi, Hales Owen, Birmingham, kick me out.
Really, yeah. Yeah, see, if Grant was here, I don't think he'd have been able to do that, because we are really strict. Inchcape are very strict.
Right, Inchcape, is it Inchcape is strict, right?
I think where he has had positive experiences, that will involve him being controlled by being watched and supervised, which may take the form of a tour of the cars, as has just been mentioned. That may happen when staff just have the time and when they just decide there may be some benefit to the showroom in having a positive video about them on social media. None of that means it's okay for him to just walk around filming staff and customers without consent, especially when he's been told that he must have their consent. Consent does not just mean they are nice to him and speak to the camera. It means they know who he's filming and why and what will be done with it. Anything less than that is not consent.
That's why we film. Part of it's showing the cars, and part of it's judging how you guys behave to the guy filming, you know?
Right.
Whether you embrace it or whether you...
That's not part of it, that's all of it, and you're full of it. You're filming because you want a reaction. That's why you're filming ordinary conversations like this. If you were there for the cars, you wouldn't be filming conversations.
Employ somebody to do that for each cake. They do it for ourselves.
Yeah, yeah.
Do it on social
That's for
media.
marketing, that is.
Yeah.
So this goes on social media, but it's more to show people how you guys react to a guy walking in with a camera, whether you embrace it and go, he's filming anyway, let's just sell ourselves, or whether you put your wall up and go, get out, you know?
Well, at least he is being somewhat honest about why he's there, but I'm not sure what purpose is served by the exercise. In fact, I've never actually heard any auditor explain in clear terms what the purpose of auditing actually is. What purpose is served by filming people in situations where they're bound to react to you filming? What are you auditing? What are you revealing to us? If I turn up at private premises and film, people will react. The reaction may be negative or positive or something in between, but I shan't be surprised if the reaction is negative. Do we really need YouTube videos to tell us that? Surely it's obvious. A real photographic audit would be conducted in a place where a photographer is expected to be, such as a public square where photographers and tourists might be expected to gather to take photographs. The auditor would be there as a photographer, but if he is challenged by authority, he would be auditing official understanding of photography laws. He wouldn't need to argue with the official because there's nothing to argue about. If the official tells him to leave, he can record the interaction to show that official understanding of public photography rights is poor, either in general or on the part of that particular individual. DJE Media isn't auditing anything. His video tells us what we already know, which is that on private premises at a workplace where people are identifiable and where there are customers, the reaction to photography can be negative. We already know that. There's nothing socially useful that we can derive from it. That's not to say that the reaction will always be right. Sometimes people do overreact to cameras and make a big fuss about it, when really there's no need. But the way to tackle that is first to respect the fact that the photographer is not the only person with rights. Other people have rights too, including property rights, a right to privacy, data protection rights, and there's also such a thing as manners and common decency.
We've had 50-50. Some of them engage, some don't. But they always go on social media, either way.
So you put people on social media whether they like it or not. That's nice of you.
No, you've been fine.
Okay.
You've been fine. The manager that came out, the guy in the blue shirt, he was a little bit like strict, but he said, crack on, just don't film the customers and stuff.
That's right.
Which is fair enough.
It's interesting that auditors often talk about tyrants, namely people like me who object to what they do. Nobody stops to consider how the auditor is behaving like a tyrant. You can't see this lady's facial expressions because I blurred her out. But on the original video over on DJE PINAC's channel, she looks very uncomfortable indeed. Her friendliness towards him is a forced friendliness, that's very clear. It's like she's in the presence of a bully or dictator, and she's having to put on an act of friendliness to appease him. And it's because she knows that her face is going on YouTube whether she likes it or not. And if she kicks up a fuss, she knows people will watch it all the more, whereas if she stays compliant and friendly, she will be forgettable. The manager of this showroom should not have put his staff and customers in this position, in my opinion, and he should have taken either steps to control the situation by having DJE Media supervised around the showroom for a limited period of say 10 or 15 minutes so that he could film cars, or he should have just asked him politely to leave, and if he refused, he could have controlled the situation by asking him to wait in a specific area and then contacted the police to quietly attend and ask him to leave. These places need procedures and protocols to deal with these situations.
Yeah. We have a very high compliance team.
Right.
If they were here, we wouldn't be allowed in the door. Yeah.
That would have been good for the video. People tend to like the negative ones more. I don't know why. You know, they tend to like the drama more than the positive ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, you know what people are like, right?
Yeah.
That, I will admit, is a problem. If a business asks one of these auditors to leave, that makes for entertaining content, so it plays into their hands. But at the same time, doing nothing in this situation also plays into the auditor's hands and risks an open-ended situation where he can gather data and information about customers and staff and harm the reputation of a business. These auditors are taking advantage of the civil liberties that we all have and using them to abuse others. That's why the long-term solution is for YouTube, the police, the ICO and the courts to get a grip on this problem using existing laws.
We've had people kick off, we've had people get in my face, all sorts of stuff. And I'm always polite, I'm never like rude.
No.
But Mercedes tend to be a little bit like here.
Yeah.
You can do it, but they're not happy about it, you know what I mean?
No.
So, but I'm finished, so.
Is he actually finally going to leave now?
Yeah, thanks for your time. All right, have a good night, bye. See you, mate.
Cheers, mate. Take it easy.
Yeah. Oh, come the wrong way again, I thought this was the way out.
I think somebody needs to give him a boot up the backside.
I thought the door was over there. I thought the way out was over there. Well, there we go. Goodbye, Inch Cape Mercedes. Back out in the cold, unfortunately. Yeah, I told you, Mercedes always seem to be like this. They always seem to be not happy with the filming.
I wonder why.
Weird, isn't it? Yeah. So Monday to Friday, sales open till 7 PM. She said 6 today. Maybe she said that to get rid of me, yeah?
No, never. Why would they want to get rid of you?